The reading for this morning is taken from the 11th chapter of the book of Isaiah, verses 1 through 10. A shoot shall come out from the stump of Jesse, and a branch shall grow out of his roots. The Spirit of the Lord shall rest on him, the Spirit of wisdom and understanding, the Spirit of counsel and might, the Spirit of knowledge and the fear of the Lord. His delight shall be in the fear of the Lord. He shall not judge by what his eyes see, or decide by what his ears hear, but with righteousness he shall judge the poor, and decide with equity for the meek of the earth. He shall strike the earth with the rod of his mouth, and with the breath of his lips he shall kill the wicked. Righteousness shall be the belt around his waist, and faithfulness the belt around his loins. The wolf shall live with the lamb, the leopard shall lie down with the kid, the calf and the lion and the fatling together, and a little child shall lead them. The cow and the bear shall graze, their young shall lie down together, and the lion shall eat straw like the ox. The nursing child shall play over the hole of the asp, and the weaned child shall put its hand on the adder's den. They will not hurt or destroy on all my holy mountain, for the earth will be full of the knowledge of the Lord as the waters cover the sea. On that day the root of Jesse shall stand as a signal to the peoples. The nations shall inquire of him, and his dwelling shall be glorious. The word of the Lord. As I've been getting ready to retire, I found it to be a very reflective time. At the recent celebration of my ministry at Trinity, two of the speakers told of their first meeting of me back in the 1980s, when my wife and I came to Davenport so that I could teach botany at what was then St. Ambrose College. It was only much later that we both became priests, and a mere 10 years ago that I became the dean of Trinity Cathedral. A lot of time has passed. The passage from Isaiah that I just read also generates additional reflections in my mind. It always reminds me of my brother Richard, known as Dick. He was 14 years older than I and a gifted musician. One way he expressed that gift was to compose a Christmas card every year. He often wrote the words and he always composed the music. One year he chose that passage from Isaiah and set it to music, haunting melody after writing the text for it. Needless to say, I always think of him when I hear that passage. Isaiah had words of hope and challenge for a people who had suffered much and faced one crisis after another. Threatened by foreign invasion and ruled by weak leadership, they didn't know which way to turn. Isaiah told them to return to the Lord. He promised that God would raise up a new ruler from the descendants of King David, one who would lead them in wisdom and truth and bring peace to the earth. Early Christians saw Isaiah's prophecy fulfilled in Jesus Christ. He would be the child who would usher in the new Eden, a place where even the carnivores would become vegetarian. It makes me think of the painting of The Peaceable Kingdom by Edward Hicks, one in which people and animals look out as though the viewer has disturbed their tranquility. In Advent, we wait for the return of Christ, even as we prepare to celebrate the first coming at Christmas. The Bible portrays the second coming in cosmic terms. The earth will be torn from its place. Our lives will be totally upended. And yet the one whose heart is love will fill us with his radiance, with joy irresistibly flowing everywhere, like floodwaters covering the sea. God's will and God's love will be all encompassing. What wonderful yearning there is in Isaiah's vision. It's not pie in the sky by and by, but rather a hope and a promise that this life is not the end, that there is more than what we can see now. A time will come when all will be reconciled to God and to one another. That's the promise God gives us through Jesus Christ. Whether we like it or not, whether we believe it or not, it will come in God's time. And the best thing for us to do in the meantime is to work for the coming of that peaceable kingdom, because God will take whatever we do for the love of Jesus Christ, large or small, and raise it up on that last day when the earth will be full of the knowledge of the Lord as the waters cover the sea. Amen.